I used to think that caring meant caring. So like if someone I loved was anxious, I became anxious too. But it turns out this wasn't making me a better friend or a family member. It was making me sick. And if you've ever felt physically ill after spending time with certain people or found yourself having emotions that don't feel like yours, this video might explain what's been happening to your nervous system. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to change it without becoming cold or uncaring. So picture this. You're having a great day, feeling energized and positive. Then you get coffee with a friend who's going through a rough patch. Within 20 minutes of listening to their problems, you tend to start to feel like someone has drained your battery. Your stomach is churning, your shoulders are tense, and that good mood that you had beforehand, well, it's gone. For years, I was a human emotional sponge. When my friend was stressed about her relationship, I'd lie awake at night worrying about it. Makes no sense, right? When my coworker was having family drama, my stomach would be tied up in knots. When my mother was disappointed about something, I'd carry that disappointment like it was my own failure. I thought this level of emotional investment made me a good person, and I kind of almost wore it like a badge of honor sometimes. Like, I'm so empathetic, I really feel what others are going through, I'm just so highly sensitive. But really, it was destroying my health. And ironically, it wasn't helping them either. So neither of us were benefiting. Their emotions would show up as physical symptoms in my body. Headaches after difficult conversations, digestive issues when they were upset, sleep disruption from problems that weren't even mine to begin with. I'd finish a day of supporting others and then feel like I'd been hit by a truck. I started tracking these patterns in my journal, and every time I felt physically sick without a clear cause, I'd note what interactions I'd had that day. The correlation was actually undeniable. Certain people's emotional states directly affected my physical health. And the breakthrough came when I learned there's a fundamental difference between empathy and emotional absorption. And this distinction literally changed my life and my health, and it's what I'd love to help people do today. And that's empathy versus absorption. So empathy, feeling with someone while maintaining your own emotional boundaries, and absorption, taking on their emotions if they were your own. Empathy is like being a skilled lifeguard. You can dive in to help someone who's drowning, but you maintain your own ability to swim. Absorption, on the other hand, is like jumping in without knowing how to swim yourself. You're both now drowning. And here's what's actually really happening in my body. When you're highly sensitive to others' emotional states, your nervous system is actually designed to mirror what's around it temporarily. This is supposed to be a quick read of the emotional environment for safety purposes, like walking into a room and immediately sensing tension. But when you're constantly exposed to others' stress without proper boundaries, your own nervous system actually gets stuck, processing emotions that aren't even yours. It's like emotional immune system becomes compromised from constant exposure to other people's internal weather. Your body literally can't tell the difference between your stress and the emotional weight that you carry for others. So when you're absorbing someone else's anxiety, your adrenal glands respond as if you're the one with the anxiety disorder. Your cortisol spikes, your digestion shuts down, and your sleep gets disrupted. All for emotions that aren't even yours to begin with. And I realized this pattern had started in my childhood. In my family, love was demonstrated as a loving family, but love was demonstrated through taking on other people's emotions. If someone was struggling, the love response was to struggle alongside them. Boundaries felt selfish, almost cruel. My mother was an emotional absorber as well, and I watched her carry everyone else's problems, and I learned that's what caring people do. And if you're losing sleep over people's issues, you must not really love them. That's kind of what I was brought up to believe. This belief system was passed down through generations of women in my family who equated love with self-abandonment. But here's what I discovered through both personal experience and working with others. You can care deeply without caring emotionally, without carrying the emotionality of it. You can support others without storing their stress in your nervous system. And the physical signs of emotional absorption are often mistaken for other health issues. You might feel exhausted after spending time with certain people, even if the interactions seem positive. Your digestive system might react to other stress before your mind even processes what's happening. I had a client who kept getting migraines after visiting her elderly mother. She thought it was just the stress of her mother's health decline. But when we tracked the pattern more carefully, she realized the migraines started specifically when her mother would complain about family members. She was absorbing her mother's resentment and carrying it in her body. And learning to recognize which emotions belong to you and which belong to others became one of the most important skills for my own health. Throughout the day, I started asking myself, is this feeling mine or is this feeling someone else's? The practice that changed everything for me was creating energetic boundaries through visualization. So before entering emotionally intense situations, I'd imagine a protective boundary around my energy field, not a wall to shut others out, but a semi-permeable membrane that allows love and support to flow out while filtering out emotional residue that isn't mine to carry. I'd visualize myself surrounded by a golden light that acts as an emotional filter. Love, compassion, genuine connection can pass through, but anxiety, anger, and drama that belongs to others bounces off. And after difficult interactions, I'd visualize returning emotions that weren't mine and give them back to their rightful owner. I even noticed anxiety in my chest that felt heavy and foreign. I'd imagine giving it up and sending it back to that person with love, saying, hey, thanks, but this belongs to you, not to me. It's not mine to carry. This might sound mystical and a little woo-woo, but there's actual real science behind it. Visualization activates the same neural pathways as actual experience. So when you practice energetic boundaries mentally, you're literally training your nervous system to respond differently. The transformation was remarkable, and within a few weeks, I stopped getting mystery headaches. My digestive system improved. I slept better because I wasn't processing other people's problems all night. But the most profound change was in my relationships. I stopped feeling resentful toward people I was helping because I wasn't depleting myself in the process. I could listen with genuine presence instead of anxious overwhelm. And this isn't about being closed off or uncaring. It's about learning to support others from a place of strength rather than depletion. And when you stop absorbing everyone's emotions, you actually become more helpful because you can think clearly and respond appropriately instead of reacting from your own triggered state. People started commenting that I seemed calmer, more grounded. They felt supported, not less, because I was showing up with authentic presence rather than anxious absorption. So learning to care without caring is a skill that takes practice. If you've been conditioned to believe that love requires emotional fusion, but your sensitivity is a gift that deserves protection, not depletion. Your empathy is one of your greatest strengths, but it needs boundaries to remain sustainable. You can be deeply caring without destroying your health in the process. And have you ever noticed patterns of absorbing others' emotions? What's one boundary, maybe ask yourself, what's one boundary that you could set this week to protect your energy while being the supportive person that you still want to be?